Hello. This is an introductory video to a video series that describes how CA technologies, Agile Requirements Designer or ARD, can be used to model requirements and systems to support collaboration and testing in your software projects. I'll introduce myself briefly, then talk about CA Agile Requirements Designer, ARD, then discussing how we think with models, how we think to test and how models support that thinking process. And then I'll talk about modeling requirements and testing and in the round and how ARD can help you to collaborate and work more closely with your colleagues in your projects. My name is Paul Gerard. I'm the host and author of the video series. My background is primarily in the technical side of software development, but I've been in testing for over 25 years now. I speak at conferences and do tutorials, that kind of thing. CA asked me last year to put together a series of articles which we packaged together into a small pocketbook called Digital Assurance, and that was launched earlier this year in 2017. Which you can get a copy of if you go to the CA website. I'm the creator of a thinking framework which I call New Model Testing, and I've been a passionate advocate of model-based testing for many years. If you need to know more about me or what I'm up to, my website and blog are at gerardconsulting.com. I also use Twitter. So let me make this statement. Modelling has always been at the heart of software development, but only recently are tools emerging that effectively support modelling, collaboration and testing. Whenever we think about testing, our brain, which is a fantastic modelling engine, uses this superb capability to make sense of very complex systems, very complex problems, if you like. And it's those models, those mental models, that help us to think through how we demonstrate that systems work, how we trace paths through complex models to force software failures, and so on. So models have always been part of how we think as testers. What the new model, which I'll introduce a bit later, does is it helps you to think through how you think. It's a meta tool, if you like. So models support thinking, and modeling and models have been the basis of all software design for as long as testing has existed. Models are everywhere. We use models to represent requirements, the behaviors of code, and we can use models to collaborate, and share in front of a whiteboard, perhaps, a doodle even. Models can be very complex, sophisticated, documented, or they can be a sketch on a whiteboard shared across an agile team. Models support the design of the product, but also the design of the tests of that product, and I'll explain how this works. Many models are never written down, so most testers still, and quite reasonably, simply keep their models private in their minds and use them day to day to model complex requirements, to understand the systems and their behavior, and use those same mental models to derive tests. Agile Requirements Designer supports modelling at all levels, whether you are a BA or a tester or a developer. Now, I created the new model for testing as a framework for describing the different modes of thought, if you like, as you take a complex requirement, a source of knowledge for the functionality of your system, and model that either mentally or on paper or using a system, and then using those models to derive effective test cases. Now, it's appropriate for people who test. Could be users, testers, or developers who all have the same mental process when they think about testing. The new model sets out 10 thinking activities. These are the 10 essential, critical thinking processes that take place in every test process. So I want to suggest that the new model is universal. Now, that's quite an ambitious thing to say, but it seems to me that this is a helpful thing to understand how we think about testing. So tools and CA Agile Requirements Designer in particular have to be used in the context. So I've also offered a simple modelling process that complements your development activities. Now, CA ARD model system behaviours using flowcharts. Now, flowcharts have been around for forever, as far as I know. And there are many variations on this kind of flowcharting style modelling technique, and many tools as well. But they all derive from a fundamental procedural model type. Now, if you understand flowcharts, which I hope you do, you are modelling when you use a flowchart to capture a requirement or a procedure. You know how modelling helps in your day-to-day activities, although you might not use the term modelling when you do it. You'll find ARD easy to use because it fits nicely into this procedural modelling aspect. In these videos, I'm trying to encourage you to think more carefully about how you think with models and how to apply ARD to a range of common situations, and we'll use many examples to describe how the tool can be used to help you be more effective in your projects. ARD can be used to model decision tables and GUIs and complex end-to-end processes and user journeys. We'll use ARD to describe an ETL, extract, transform and load process for a data migration. And we'll talk about loops and repetition in systems, as well as testing web services, and I'll use the RESTful format as an example to demonstrate that. Other videos will demonstrate how you create data and expected results using the tool, and most importantly, how to generate paths or test cases, if you like, using a range of optimization or coverage techniques. I'll focus briefly on the all pairs test approach and describe how you can use filters within the tool to select or query the model that you create. ARD has a large number of useful features, more than I could demonstrate in these videos. The purpose of these videos is primarily to introduce you to the concept of modelling, to introduce the tool to support your thinking while you model, and to use the tool to generate tests in an effective way. We'll only look at the core functions relating to model design, path optimization, breaking down complex models into smaller ones in terms of modularization. I'll talk about data and expected results. Now, CA Test Data Manager is a really helpful tool for creating and managing test data and expected results, but that's out of scope for these videos. Also, CA Service Virtualization is also out of scope. It's a great tool to support testing subsystems in isolation or where service components, other web services, are not yet available. Now, where CA Test Data Manager can help, I'll highlight this in the video, but again, I won't explore TDM, as it's called, in any detail. In summary, so far in the testing industry, we've had a lot of tools that support the mechanical process of test execution. What we haven't had are tools that truly support the thinking and design activity that testers go through. I want to suggest that ARD is one of the first tools to support how testers think, not just how they run tests. I hope you find these videos helpful and enjoyable too.